Hey guys, how's it going? You may recognise this program. This program is called Pfpx, or Professional Flight Planner 10. And I'm doing this video because I kind of want to show you guys my kind of first impressions of what it's like on my new computer with, it's literally a fresh installed. I've installed it and now I'm running it. I want to show you guys a couple of things to point out. First of all, at the moment you can get 20% off if you put a hot deal into the coupon code. Also, one other thing you want to be careful when buying Pfpx, you want to make sure that you buy this one, and then after 365 days you buy this one, which is an extension. It's not a free flight planning software, but yes, that's how you extend it if you want to extend it. So yeah, let's go into Pfpx. First of all, we're going to click the little options button up here, and just I'm going to show you what I have set as my options, at least, or this is actually the default options, or it should be anyway. You can just see some various stuff. You don't need to see that. I actually have all my weights in pounds. You can also have kilos, but pounds I find is much better because it's something. When you load up a PMDG or something, their standard unit is pounds, and pounds is very much a far more standard unit of measurement in the aviation world. So that's why I use, pounds. I'm just going to add Reef into here because he will be flying with me later on. You can. What else can we see here? Hopefully it's kept his name, yeah. You got that. So here is quite cool. Weather, of course, if you have something like Active Sky or Rex. I do actually have Rex, but I'm just going to use a standard METARs and TAFs from the Pfpx server. So that's what I'm going to use. It's going to be, personally, I'm going to say it's probably a little bit better than Rex. I don't use Active Sky, so I can't comment on that. Weights, this is all the standard weights. So for example, your standard adult is going to weigh 84 kilos, at least that's what it says here, which is probably about right. Then infants, I suspect they weigh a bit more. They weigh like 2 kilos, I don't know, no, more than that, way more than that, like 10 kilos, so maybe I'll change that later on. And then you've got all the baggage and all that kind of stuff. A relatively standard figure would be, actually, I'm actually going to change this a little bit to, no, I'm just going to keep it standard. 15 kilos, I know Ryanair, oh no, Ryanair I think do 10 kilos. I'm not entirely sure. If I click reset, yeah, that's all default. You have all the airline codes, so let's say you want to change something, you can always change it here, so you could put that in, then you can like add it or change it. It doesn't actually give me the option to, no, maybe it's, there you go, yeah, you can't actually change that iCal. You can only change the sort of what it's actually called, which is quite useful if you wanted to use, I know, is it Speedbird? Oh, well, I'm not going to go into it, but if it was Speedbird and you want it as British Airways, maybe you'd want it like that, or vice versa. Then you have the various network settings. In the 1.2 updates and stuff, they've added a ton new airports and stuff and various locations you can fly to. Of course, they still have all the normal ones, so for example, they still have Heathrow and stuff here, and if you were to hover over it, it gives you all the information of does it give you ground frequencies and stuff? No, it doesn't. Oh no, it just gives you some simple information like runway length, the current METAR and that kind of stuff, which is all quite cool. So after all that, we're going to go into the planning and how we're going to plan. In fact, no, we're not. First, we're going to add an airplane. So we click aircraft database. You'll see I have no airplanes. I'm going to click new aircraft. Give me this option. Registration is a type of airplane, or at least I'm going to put it as a type of airplane I'm going to be flying. So it's not like BAW, whatever. Unless you want that, then of course you can type anything in here. How long can you make it? You can make it, what was that? Is that 7 characters long? Yeah, 7 characters long. So yeah, whatever you can think. I'm actually going to put 738 because it's going to be a 737-800, and of course we need to find it down here. We're not going to, I think that's the extended range with winglets. We're not going to use that, we're just going to use the standard 800, and you'll notice all of these different things here have changed. You can add a whole load of extra things what your airplane is equipped with and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to worry about any of that. We're just going to simply click Save Aircraft. There we go. So we've now got our airplane. You can see all the standard weights of the airplane, how much fuel it carries, maximum takeoff weight, that's maximum zero fuel weight, that's the aircraft with nothing, and all the other kind of stuff, how much it packs. 174, I thought it was 184 or 186, but oh well, we're not going to worry about that. Don't click, just add flight, because it comes out of that window, or I don't, I'm not sure why you'd want to use that, but obviously maybe you would. You always click new here, and it gives you this window. Some of you will be familiar with this. So we've already got it as BAW. If we were to click that, BAW, British Airways. So there you go, if you want it like that. Or can you type in Brit? No, you can't type that. So here we go, we're going to beat British Airways. 1, 2, 3, 4, about like so. We can go from EGLL to Amsterdam, like that, really simple. It's already, with the current wind conditions and stuff, given us the recommended runways to take off from. So if we were to click, hang on, let me think, here you go, I think it's this one. You can see the direction the wind's going in, you can see it's kind of in a loop here, and you can just see all the different directions wind is going in. So for example, you can see the arrows paint is facing more like upwards, or in this kind of direction here, what means we're going to take off at a heading of 90, as you can see here, runway 9 right, so that's that way because of the wind is like that. And then we are also, in fact, it's very much it is about the same really, it's a similar kind of wind pattern. However, we're going to be landing on 60, so a little bit more into the wind, which is, so 060 is a bit more like, was it? It's like more like that, isn't it? So yeah, pretty similar. It just gives you some really basic information, but I don't like that on all the time. It's a little bit annoying. It's given us all the different sort of bits and pieces we know. Commercial flight number. This is a number of passengers see, so it could be what is it? BA 1, 2, 3, 4. I think would be the commercial flight number. So on your boarding pass, that's the number that would show up. It is an international flight. You can either have domestic for in the UK, long range for miles over the Atlantic, or other. Maybe that would be VFR maybe. But I don't really use that kind of stuff normally. I don't normally use a flight plan like this for VFR flights. It's not going to be scheduled. If it was scheduled, it would happen every so often, so Pfpx could make a scheduled flight plan for you, which would be really cool. You can see the start time of 5:20. It's currently virtually 5 o'clock, so if we were to go now, it would be all ready. But yeah, estimated time of arrival is 55 minutes, or not estimated time of arrival, estimated time is 55 minutes, just under an hour. Oh no, that's a standard tuition arrival, I think, or something like that. Then you have your departure. So if you were to put you departing at, I don't know, 16:30, like so. Hopefully it'll change, like 16:30, and that hasn't changed automatically. I thought it would do. Anyway, so yeah, that's that. Registration tail number. This is very important. You just click the plane you've already made. It's already configured it. The next thing is payload. Now you can input all these things, but I just click random payload because you simply have no idea who's going to be on the plane. It shows you your zero fuel, how many passengers there are, how much cargo, how many adults, children, infants you're going to have. For here, we will be using EU ops, European regulations, because as we are in Europe, of course. Extra time, let's say you want an extra 30 minutes of extra time, an extra 30 minutes of fuel, and not for fuel, for hold time, an extra 30 minutes of hold time. And then you can have the minimum or the max. So this is your release fuel, how much fuel is in the aircraft. We're just going to have the minimum because there's no point being miles overweight. The route, one thing you can do, you can just simply click find and it will create a route like so. And again, you can do exactly the same for alternate airports, and you can, if you want to choose an airport, that's fine, or if you're lazy like me, you simply click find alternate airports and it will do that. You can see all the different areas it's wanting you to go to. Then we will simply press compute flight like so, and now it's computed. It's already put the route into auto. Here's our flight plan, so we kind of make a slight deviation off to the north, and then we kind of come back onto a more standard route. That would be the fastest way to the waypoint. You can see it's ever so slightly curved because of the curvature of the Earth. So when you fly from like, I don't know, America to the UK, you'll notice the curve is like that. It's quite dramatic, but you only just get to see it here. It's not that major here because it's such a short flight. So it's telling us the flight is going to be 39 minutes. I apologise, not 55. It says our distance 216 nautical miles. So yeah, it's really simple to make a flight plan with this system. You can also release it. You can also look at all the details here. So this is, if we're to print out, this is actually what would sort of come up on the sheet. We're actually going to release a flight. Then we are going to can we print it? I think we can print it. No, I don't. I don't actually have the right equipment. Normally, another thing you can do is you can save that as a Bulldog PDF file if you wanted to, and you can have that. I will be install Bulldog very soon, so I can do that because that is quite frustrating. I wonder what validate does. Let's click it. Oh, it just gives you kind of information of your flight, I guess. I say ATC flight plan. So if you were another thing, ATC. This is what you would send to ATC as your flight plan. It tells you the various runways, so we're airways and all that kind of stuff. So one of our airways is going to be M185, whatever that is. So yeah, it's all pretty cool stuff. That is, I was going to say, is that Meta? No, it's not Meta. It is going to be in here. So currently in Heathrow, where we're starting, this is the current Meta. This is in the TAF format. You can, yeah, this is in the TAF format. So yeah, it's really cool. Then what you can do is click export. Now I've got Flight Sim Commander, and so you can see my standard FSX folder. If I was to browse it, it's just directly on my C drive in a folder called FSX. That is my standard FSX directory. You can name the route here, so if you wanted it from if you wanted it, I don't know, Heathrow to Amsterdam, you could always have that like HA or something like that. For purposes, we're going to have EGLLE ham01 because that's how it comes as standard. You can see it has various sort of types of flight plans. I guess save files would be best to describe it. So it's your here, for example, it's your FSX path, and oh no, not this one, but NGX. It's not FSX path. Then it will automatically find or it knows that after you've given it your FSX folder, it automatically knows that that is where you want it to go to. So if we were to click save, is now so the route has been saved. We can check that if we wanted to by going to my C drive, FSX, going to PMDG, if I can find it, there we go. What's it in? Flight plans NGX. So flight plans NGX, and you can see it has been saved here. These are other flight plans I have made on different dates. I'm actually going to delete all those apart from that one. No, I may as well delete that one as well. And you can see it has imported that into that file, and that is now ready for me to load up in the PMDG aircraft. A really simple program to use. You can use a flight sim commander as well. So if you wanted to, if you wanted to use it for flight sim commander, you could also do that, and then you can have like a visual representation on what it looks like. That's it really. There's an absolute ton more features on this, as well as sort of takeoff stuff. If I was to click takeoff, I'd actually need to buy Top Cat, which I don't have, and again for landing it's exactly the same. It's just it's just a really good bit of kit, if I'm honest. Let's just quickly go to flight info. Okay, it's not quite how I was expecting it to look like. I was thinking it was going to look a little bit different. Nevertheless, when you print it out, it comes out as in a very professional format. It comes out as if the pilots were to have it in the plane. That is what I love about this piece of software. These are all the things you would be putting into your FMC. Of course, it shows you that all weights and stuff are in pounds, so things like zero fuel weight is here. And all that kind of stuff. So you'd put like, what would you put? Zero? Oh, it would automatically calculate it, but that is a number it would come up with. That's a maximum it could be. So if it was a completely full plane, which it isn't, because we can see there's only 7,000. Oh no, our payload. Oh, there we go. Our payloads. It hasn't actually came up with our payload or anything. Our payload isn't just for people, I don't think, anyway. No, it hasn't. Oh, that might be it, actually. But, yeah, you can see here, that's how much it's going to weigh when it takes off, and that's how much it's going to weigh when it's landed. Then the ramp weight is that, because, of course, we're going to lose some weight just by using a little bit of fuel, and it calculates all that. For your flight plan, it shows you exactly what route you're going to do. So for example, you have all your waypoints, your airways, the waypoints, the distance, I think, your heading, sorry. You have where you're going to be at a certain point. So in our case, we get up to 230 and we start descending. It has your wind and stuff. So after here, it also has your frequency. So for ATC at this point here, you will need to tune to 117.50 if you're online anyway. Then it has all your various wind sort of calculations here. Your distance remaining, where you are positionally in the globe. I'm not entirely sure when you'd need to use that, but maybe if something on your aircraft failed, you could use that as a reference to where you were. And it also tells you where you should be at certain points. It also gives you the wind information at certain altitudes and that kind of stuff as well. Because of course you have the climb and the descent, because of course you don't actually know. It's not going to be exactly the same for the whole thing. Your ATC, we already went into that, and the weather, we also kind of went into that. And then these ones here are all your alternate airports. Nomnats, I think Nomnats are the it's telling you like what runways are open and the times airports are open, and it's very basic but general information, and it also tells you what planes can fly into certain things, but you need to know what these numbers and letters mean here, which I currently don't. It's been a slightly longer video, a little bit longer than I expected. I'm hoping I've given you guys a little bit more of an insight of what Pfpx is like. But anyway guys, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.